Here's what we got from yesterday. All I've done is change around two things. This card large and card small, we created this interface for props, but we didn't actually include it. So all I did was type as props down here to include these two things. And then in our post CSS config, we didn't actually use auto prefixer, even though I installed it. So what I'm going to do is just get this up and running. And if you're just joining us, like I said, we haven't done anything as far as styling. So all we have is the content here. So today will be all about styling this in CSS. Let's see. I'm trying to remember where to add this. Auto prefixer. Where's my post CSS file? Just to make sure, yeah. So just require auto prefixer. That's what I've done, right? Yeah, we're good. Okay. And then with this browsers list, browsers list, let's see. I think I can just do like, where's like the defaults? Is that all I have to do? Oops. So this will basically add stuff for the previous versions, but sorry if you joined a second ago and I wasn't showing my screen. We're here now. Sure, let's just grab this. All right, I'm going to come over to my package.json and add that in here. Okay, so then it actually should be working. So as we style stuff, it should actually add those, backfill those tags for previous browsers. So perfect, thank you. All right, so let's go ahead and pull up the image and we'll get started. Let me close down all this, close down that. Okay, so let's see, we got the styling to do for the background. Yesterday we got it to where when we click this, it switches between light and dark mode, and I'll show you that here as we get moving. I do have all this code. You just need to come into video 2 and you can follow along with me in the description if you want to do that. So we've got this working. Maybe let's just get the basic setup to where it's just like blocked off correctly, and then we'll worry about all the styling. So there's a couple ways we can do this. Let's just, because Astro scopes all the CSS by default to components, some of these things are going to make sense just to stay with the components themselves. But we do have a global, let's see, SAS file, I think. Yeah, right inside here where we started working on stuff yesterday. So let's go ahead and do some work on the body, which is right here. And we set this text primary right here so that when I switch over, everything should go to this white text and the background should go here. These are coming from variables up top. So what we did yesterday is we set all these variables in the root. So we've got light defaults, dark defaults. These are all for colors. And then we've got, we basically set our default to light mode if they haven't checked this box one way or the other. And then if they prefer color scheme dark, we switch it to dark. That is if that's their machine's preference. However, if they toggle the box, that will basically usurp that because it's lower down in the cascade. So here what we'll do is then switch this to dark, whatever the machine preference is, and here switch this to light, whatever their machine preference is. So that's all we're doing. And so all we have to do is reference these like global variables. Since I'm using them, those are the ones I'm actually using in my site, and let the media queries figure all that stuff out as far as what it points to at what time. So we're just going to always reference those everywhere we go, like here, and then let the media queries figure it out. All right, so next, let's go ahead and get stuff styled correctly here, and I'm going to use open props just to help speed up some of the actual work of everything. Even though I'm using SAS, I'm probably going to almost use nothing SAS related. I was just showing how you can use SAS if you want to with Astro. So let me come inside here. See, did I actually pull in the font family? Font family? Yeah, I did. Okay, so enter is already being used. Let's go ahead and get a font size. Overview card headings. That's the only thing that I think they gave me yesterday. Is that like this, maybe? And then the rest of these, I'm not sure what these would be. So let's just kind of do our own thing. Let's say if I come in here to typography, I'm going to grab like font size fluid 0. Font size would be var font size fluid 0. I should be getting this stuff working automatically for me, but it's not pulling in for some reason. Oh well. In other words, there's a way that you can actually get it to where it will automatically show you these as you start typing, like IntelliSense. For some reason, it's not working. I'm not going to figure that out right now. All right, so now I pulled this in, and I'm using that. And the nice thing about these fluid sizes, like you can see that got way bigger, but they're fluid, so as my screen shrinks and expands and all that kind of stuff, it'll actually move with me as well, which is great. All right, line height, that works. Let's come into this top section here, which I think we called header. So let's pull up the header, and let's split this side to side. And I'm guessing like this just wraps on mobile. Oh, can we not do that? Let me come into here, mobile design dark. So yeah, it just wraps. Okay, so let's leave it there perhaps. I'll come in here, and we've also got this thing toggling, this JavaScript. We did that yesterday as well. Okay, so up top here, the nice thing about all this stuff being scoped is I can just keep my markup, my CSS, and my script tag all in the same area. So let's do style, and then I can do lang CSS, and then just write CSS directly in here as well if I want SCSS. If you don't do this, then it will just be normal CSS, and like I said, it's going to be scoped by default. That means I can just come in here and say H1 like this, and style this however I want. So let's do font size var. Man, I really wish that stuff auto-completed, because now I got to look all this stuff up, which is amongst the things I hate doing. All right, fluid size 1. Since they don't give us values for this, I'm just going to do whatever I want. And then below, let's see. I guess I'm not really going to need a whole lot more with that. So we'll just leave that alone. Let's see this header wrapper, switch wrapper. I wonder if we're going to use it anywhere else. Looks like all that styling is a little different, so we'll just leave that part alone. Okay, so we'll just style this in here, and that should work. So header wrapper will be display grid. We'll do like a gap of like, I don't even know, var size 4, which I think is 1 rem. That's too big. 1, 0. Let's also come in here and say like line height 1.1. I think that'll also help. Okay. So this will give us some consistent spacing between things. Open props, that's why I'm using it, and it's a little quicker. So, all right. Yeah, that's good. Let's come in here and grab this paragraph. It's my only paragraph here. So because this is all scoped, I can just say paragraph. So let's do that. We'll do color, var, and now I don't remember what my colors were called, like text secondary, I think. Yeah, there we go. So that's a lighter color now. If I switch it over, it should just switch, and that's what it should look like. I think that's right. Yeah. Do I even need a gap on this? I don't think I do. All right, let's also then grab the whole header, and let's do a flex on this. So header, we'll do display flex, justify content center, no, space between. And then align items center. And then I probably, let's see, where is that supposed to be aligned up top? Center works. Okay. As far as padding around this whole thing, I see everything is kind of capped to the center. So I think what I'm going to do is add that globally on my main tag. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. So I won't worry about spacing here. Let's see. I think all the rest of that's fine. I do need this to flex. Come on. Wrap. Wrap. And that way when it needs to, it should be able to snap down. I guess it won't really need to that much, but maybe let's also throw a gap in here. Var size 4. which I think is what I'll use essentially for my something like that. That seems about right. So let's get some padding around everything. So I'm going to come back here to my index.astro page. And let's do that next. So inside this main here, so yeah, I'll show you this too, which I did yesterday as well. But if you say style, what I can also do is use the is global like this. And that will make this entire style tag global, even though it's normally scoped to this component. Not that it'll matter because I'm only going to style the main, which it should already be only in this component. But if I come in here, I can say like padding var fluid size 4 maybe, something like that. Why is that not working? Let's say like 4 rem, just make sure that's working. Nothing's working. Okay. Oh, there it is. Weird. I had to refresh for some reason. Let's come back over here. Let's look at some sizings. Size fluid. This is almost not worth it without the extension. So I'm kind of thinking about abandoning this, but it is a lot quicker for me when I have just stuff to choose from. And I don't have to make all those decisions myself. But anyhow, let's do margin inline. So just left and right. Yeah, let's do it. So what we'll do is the max between two values. The first one's going to have a calc. It'll be 100 view width minus 70 rem divided by 2. Or, and I'll explain this in a second, or 2 rem. Or, I guess I don't really need this. So let's just do padding block here. Let's see. So actually what I'm going to do is pull this in here. So this is admittedly a bit of a hotshot way of doing this, but I've started doing it this way and I really kind of like it. So basically what we're doing is we're saying, give me the maximum left and right, give me the maximum between these two. Either give me 100 view width minus 70 rem divided by 2. In other words, split it on both sides because it's margin inline, which should put it exactly in the middle anytime it's larger than 70 rem. So it basically does margin inline and caps it to a certain width. Or give me var size fluid 2 on the side. So basically give me that padding if it's anything below that. So if I get bigger here and close this off, what we should see, well, that didn't work. Let's refresh. Huh. Well, so much for me explaining this as if it was going to work perfectly. Calc. 70 rem. Oh, I need to cap it here. Okay. I just typed it wrong. Okay, so if you come out here, what it should do is it caps it. Basically, 70 rem is from here to here. And then it basically will split that up in 2 on the sides after that. And then when I get anywhere smaller than 70 rem, it basically puts it in the middle. So it basically just sets a max width, and it actually sets it exactly in the middle. So like a margin auto, left and right. So admittedly, it's kind of a hotshot way of doing it, but I've grown to like it. So hopefully that makes sense. All right. I think that's all I need to do for that. Let's finish out our header component with this little input checkbox. So I think what I want to do, let's grab the switch wrapper as well. Let's see, and just come down here. So we'll just say switch wrapper, display flex, or yeah, that's fine. Let's say display flex gap var size 1. Oh, you know what? It needs to be, when it's wrapped, it needs to be larger. Huh. Not totally sure how I'm going to do that yet, but I guess the other thing I might do is, since we're already using SAS, I might just wrap these things in here. That way at least they're scoped to the header too, and sure, why not? Let's see, how does this thing look on desktop? So on desktop, it's next to each other. It's just when they're wrapped, it's down. So probably the best thing is to do some kind of media query for that. Yeah, I think I'll probably do that. Okay, So let me come back up here and grab, we'll just grab this roll of switch. Assuming that I have this on other things as well. So like if I were to have a site with multiples of these, they'd probably all have a roll switch wherever they were at. So to me, that makes sense to do that. So I'm going to do appearance none, which should hide that. And then what I want to do is set a width. We'll do var size maybe 8, and then I'll do a height var size 4, background var something. I gotta go back to my main. I don't know why it's not pulling that in. SAS. There we go. Let's see, my colors toggle. I think that's what I'm looking for. Toggle. Okay, so there it is, showing up there. And then we'll do border radius. The easiest way to always ensure you get a perfect circle is do 100% V width, or perfect pill, or V max. Yeah. So that way it's going to look at either the height or the width, whatever is taller or larger, and then basically do 100% of that. So it'll always be a pill shape, or if it's the same width and height, it'll always be a circle. So something like that. Let's make sure it works for dark mode. So dark mode, I think I set this up yesterday and I wasn't super confident in the fact that I did it right. From, let's see, to right. Oh, let me switch over to dark mode to actually see it. And then I think it's like this. Yeah. Okay, so I just messed it up. I think that's right. Okay. Which means I probably also messed up this one. To right. Okay, so eventually that will work for us too. All right, so now that we've got that, let's go ahead and take, let's see. I think what I want to do, yeah, let's come back up here. So this roll of switch, it's a self-closing tag, so I can't add like an after element to it. So I think what I actually might do, I might actually wrap this. Let's do this. So let's just move this up here, inside here. And what I'm going to do is take my roll of switch and do all that stuff on it. But here I'm going to say, take switch here and do position relative. And that way I can use an absolute positioned item here. So there's technically a div somewhere in here that's wrapping all that. And now what I'm going to do is grab my, let's see, my after and content, nothing like that. And then we'll do a width of var size 4. So we're just manually creating this little switch. At least this is how I'm thinking to do it. And then just to make sure I can see it, background white, position, oops. Because right now it's going to be off to the right, position absolute. Oh. There we go. So it's over there. Now I just need to move it. Maybe let's actually move this. See, I might need it the same, well, or I can make that position absolute. So I'll set that width all the way. So we'll do all the styling here, and then basically just hide the switch altogether. So the div will have our styling. Let's see, this also needs to be here to make sure that's a perfect circle. See, it's a little bit smaller too. So nice thing about using that is I can just move that in. Then what I want to do is say position absolute, and then inline, not inline, inset 0. And that way this whole section is technically that. Let's also do pointer cursor here. Nope, cursor pointer. Always mess that one up, cursor pointer. All right, there we go. And now this should also be the same. So maybe what I should do is just set this once on the switch wrapper. because I think that wraps everything. No, just that's not going to work. Huh, weird. I thought that would work. All right, well, we'll come in here, and then I'll also grab the label and say the same thing, cursor pointer. Although it should pick that up automatically, I thought. But all right, so here we go. Now, the only hard thing here is now the way I've set this up is I need to find a way to check when I check it to move everything. So I think actually to make one more change, let's take this switch and move it like that. And then what we're going to do is just, let's see, just do this here. So technically it's in between these two. And we'll do width 0, height 0, just kind of hide it all together. And then I do need to actually put this cursor pointer up here now. So I can click on that. And then what we'll do, no, that's not what I want to do either. Okay, so basically what I want to do is make it to where we can use like a sibling selector in CSS, and when it's checked, when the role switch is checked, then basically move around that after element. All right, so I think I know what I'm going to do. Let's switch back how we had it. And what I'll do instead is just have like a span, sure. We'll call check mark. I think this is what I would normally do. Check mark, something like that. Then what I can do is instead of having an after element, I can just have that check mark element here, like this. And then just to kind of keep everything together, since we are using Sass, I'll just throw this in here. So basically when I check this, I can move around this check mark. So what we'll do is we'll say, when this is checked, then I want to grab next to it the check mark, and I want to move this. So we'll translate it. Transform. Actually, can I use translate now? Maybe. Let's see. We'll do like, maybe, can I use translate X? I forget how the new property works. I think it's actually in Chrome though now, so I think I should be able to use it. So we'll say like, maybe what I should do is move it. Just, do I slide it over? Let's see. Let's actually get it positioned correctly first. So let me come in here. We'll go top 50%, and then left var size 1, and then transform, translate. All right, here's a great time to use the translate. Let's see if it works. Translate. And what we want is negative 50% and negative 50%. Yeah, there we go. Except I guess I don't need this. Nope, other way. Like this. So you used to have to combine the two, and you basically still do now because it's really new in browsers, but technically you can, let's see, that's not going to work either. What is the distance between those two? Oh, goodness. So let's just do pixel values here until we figure it out. Sure, that's fine. All right, so then what we'll do is change this around. What I was going to say is normally you have to do transform, translate, whatever, but now you can set this separately, which means you can just adjust that, and it won't be like, you won't have to redeclare your entire transform property. So that's what we're going to do. So what we'll do is check this, and it should, let's see. Actually, I do need to translate this. So let's say translate. Like that, maybe? Almost. I just didn't quite get over enough. So, see, I can animate the translate. So I kind of do want to leave it there, and then we'll say right 2 pixels. Maybe I don't want to do that. Can I take its own width? So let's do a calc 100% plus var size 3. That's just about right. Let's see, minus 2 pixels. How's that for hacky? I mean, it works, right? So then what I can do is come in here and say transform, or sorry, translate, transition. I'll get it right. On the translate, right? Translate property. Let's do like 250 milliseconds. Let's see what kind of cubic Bezier curve we can grab. Sure, let's use that one. So now it should kind of snappy. I kind of like that. Maybe we speed it up just a touch. I think that looks cool. Okay. All right, so that is, we're going to call that pretty much set. I got to get moving. It's early Saturday morning. There's not that many of you here. We're just hanging out. I don't need to worry about this. Let's see. What is this thing called that it's wrapping? Switch wrapper. So how about this? We'll say, come on. Let's see. Do I want to do some kind of mix-in? No, I don't. Let's take the switch wrapper, and we'll just say that on media screen only, and no, I can't remember this. I think if I just say min width, like 500 pixels, something like that, then I can grab the switch wrapper and say that the flex, justify content is space between. Yeah, it didn't like me. And is that how it is? Am I going to have to look this up? Media query. I always forget how to write these things. Okay, sure. Some things like stick with you, and some things I just can't remember, but I'm sure everyone's like that. The other thing then I need to do, let's see, this should be max width too on top of that. Okay, so then it's also a child of a flex here. Let's see, I wonder why. So I guess I just need to also change the flex property. So flex basis, maybe we'll just set to 100%. Sure. Okay, so now it should basically stay like that until it snaps up. Maybe let's make that more like 400 pixels. All right, cool. So it snaps up there, and look how snappy this is. I like that. All right, I think I also want to change this a little bit. Let's make it just slightly bigger. And this is the nice thing about using these sizes is as long as I'm consistent here, I should be able to, let's see, let's keep that at 8. Let's change this to 5. But I should be able to basically just change a couple of values and everything I should update automatically. This doesn't need a content anymore either. This is maybe a little more hacky, this 4 pixel that we're just randomly grabbing in here, but that's fine. So this will be 4, this will be 4. Maybe we can leave those at a smaller value. Sure, let's leave it at 2. Same thing here for 2. Just to make it a little bit bigger. Except now, you got to change this to 4. Right? Or was I grabbing that 3 from earlier? Oh, no, it should be size 4, right? Minus 2 pixels. What did I mess up? Oh, you know what? I don't need to move this over. Yeah, to the 2. So I'm going the other direction. There we go. All right. I feel happy with that. I also should make These are the little tiny things you see, but let's do pointer events. None here, so that clicking on the toggle doesn't mess stuff up. See, I also don't have any kind of, okay, we're gonna have to change that too. Here, I thought we were done. So it's coming here. A couple little things I saw. Switch wrapper, where are we at? This needs to be align items center. And so that they're at least central here, especially when they get up here next to each other. Just change this to be a little bit bigger. Nah, let's put it back to 1. The other thing we're going to need to do is switch that label around too, now that I think about it. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, so let's switch that label around in our JavaScript, which is again in the same file, just because we've got everything scoped here. So I should be able to declare up top here. Let's say label equals document.query selector, and we'll just select, do I have anything on that label? We'll just say for theme, that works. Something unique, for equals theme. So that should be that label. Then what I can do is update this dot text content should be equal to, now we can just use the same ternary. Dark mode, light, dark. So almost. So we'll say dark mode, and this will say light mode. So as I switch back and forth, maybe this is supposed to be capitalized. I think so. Then that should switch back and forth with me. All right, last thing to worry about, and then I swear we will actually get moving, is this state right here. I'm not going to leave that thing alone. We gotta make that fancy. I do actually think I need a little bit more space then between. Where are we at here? What is this thing called? Switch wrapper. Right here. Okay. I do think we actually need a little bit more space between those, especially as we go to apply some kind of banding around that. So maybe that'll work. Okay. So let's come into the, let's see, the switch. So let's see, if we just say outline none, I think that should give us what we need. So if I come here, it should now show nothing. Then what I want to do is whenever the switch right here, yeah, so we'll say focus, and then move the outline down here, and then we'll say whenever it is focus visible, which is when we tab to it, then we're going to add a box shadow here. And just to make sure this is all working, we'll say 0, 0, 0, and then like 2 pixels of red. So I should be able to tab and you see it all show there. Cool. Let's also then add that same border radius to here. And that way it should be right around there. If I tab to it, you see it show up. So what I want is I want the box shadow here to be var background. And that way it should blend into the background. And then we'll add another box shadow just below it that comes out a little bit more. And let's do like 6 pixels. And in this case, why don't you like me? What did I do wrong? Oh, I redeclared box shadow. All right, valid reason. All right, so let's grab both those, refresh here. So when I tab over, oh, it's not going to show anything yet. So let's show red just to make sure it's working properly. And then we'll switch the color out. Okay, so that's what I want it to do. Except, let's see, can I apply like a gradient to this box shadow? I don't think I can. Let's try. All right, var switcher. What was that thing called? Toggle. Let's see. Maybe? No, it doesn't work on the gradient. Okay, so it does work on the plain color, but not on the gradient. So I guess let's just apply my text primary, or maybe secondary, because it's a little more muted. And now when I come in here, now it shows right there. That'll work for me. Let's just make this a little smaller. And then finally, what I want to do is set this to here. And we're just going to set this both negative and then set a transition on it. So transition. And see, here's another way I could be using open props. I kind of stopped using it because without the autocomplete, it just, I don't like looking stuff up. The whole point was so I could just quickly get stuff going, but they've got some nice little timing functions, are these transition functions. So what I can do is say on the box shadow, like 200 milliseconds, something like that. So now it should, see how it kind of snaps up into place? I like that. All right, maybe we go 5 here. Just to, yeah, see how it like gets so snappy? Nice and snappy. I like that too. Okay. Let's see, make sure everything else looks fine. Oh, I set this background color wrong though. So it needs to be the background. Var background. Yeah. And while we're here, maybe we should switch this out too. So let's use that squish. I don't know. I kind of like mine more. Let's do it. Nah, I'm going to switch it up. I think they've got like just a more intense one. Yeah, that's fun. Okay. All right. Well, that took forever, but I don't know. I think that's kind of fun. At least it's the way I like it. Okay, so this next section, let's actually get to the cards. So we'll do cards, card large. For each of these, I think there's actually, is there like a active state? Should I have totally done these differently? I think what I'm going to do is just style it as they stay in this state, and we'll call that good just because I don't want this video to take forever, and it's like 6 in the morning for me on a Saturday, so I've got other stuff I need to do too. So I'm going to maybe just do that and call that good. If you are vehemently opposed to that and want me to do it exactly as it is, let me know. Okay, so inside here, we're going to have, I guess they all should be the same to start with. So let's first of all let's go back to our index page. Not HTML, index.astro. So these are inside these sections, and really the section should be similar. But I guess we need to probably provide these some kind of classes as well. Let's see, what do I have here? Did I allow? Yeah, I allowed us to bring classes in. So let's do that. So can I have an ID as well? Let's do an ID as well. So we'll make this a string, and we'll just say that they have to pass. Let's leave it at classes, I think. Yeah, let's do that. So let's come to here. What I'm going to do is pass in some classes for both of these. So we'll do classes, and then we'll do like card section, and then I'll just do card section, and then we'll do overview and today, maybe overview, and then down here will be today. So we can style some of this stuff the same, some of it differently. So basically, because I passed that prop in, it should have gotten that into that component I need. So let's just then style let's go to our main style sheet. And since I'm not really using this, let's just close some of this stuff down so I can actually see what's going on here. And let's go into this global style sheet. And I'm going to grab now that card. Oh, what did I just call that? Card section and card section overview. Okay. Let's just grab this and drop it in here. So we'll do card section here. And in this case, let's see. Let's close this out. All right, card section. So I want this to be display. Let's see, a flex. I kind of like grid for this kind of stuff. So I think I'm going to do that. The other thing I want, well, yeah, I guess let's do padding on this. So let's do padding block, and we'll do var size fluid 1, something like that. I know. 2, I don't really know. And then basically as I get larger, it should get a little bit bigger. Sure, that works for me. All right, so inside here, as far as how this grid is laid out, I think for now I'm just going to say place items center, and then we'll stack everything up as we need to. Let's also say grid auto flow columns, or column, and that should stack all those up. We'll obviously need to wrap that second row down here. Oh, and you know what? I've got to think about this a little differently because I have 2 items in here and only 1 here. So maybe actually let's break this out. So I'm going to say and card. Let's see. Yeah, just card section. No. What am I doing? And overview. Now we'll set like that. So those should always be stacked. And then actually what I want to do, I think what I want to do instead of doing autoflow column, let's do grid template columns. Let's see. Grid template columns, auto flow, auto fit. I just forgot to do this. That's not right. Where's the thing? Just give it to me. Here we go. Repeat auto fit. That's right. All right. So if I come back over here, basically when I get smaller, they should just snap down. Yeah. Now right now they're based on this 100 pixel. I think what I'll do is set this to fluid. Let's see, we've got lots of different fluid sizes, so let's do like fluid 7, something like that. And they should get bigger as we go, basically. That's the idea. And they snap down, so maybe we'll do a little bit bigger than that. Fluid 10. It might be too big. Fluid 9. And again, normally I'd have IntelliSense telling me what these things are. So it's kind of frustrating, but... Okay, let's do fluid 8 and just call it good. All right, so those should snap up. When they need to, they start snapping down. Okay, so that works for me. So let's go ahead and jump back over to the card large and actually style this out too. The other thing I'm going to do is set a class on here of card. And because that's global, I think I'm just going to style that over here as well. So we'll say, and actually I think I can just do card like that. We'll say background color is going to be my var. I don't even get my IntelliSense here. I'm in the same file. Come on. Card background. What do I want? Yeah, card background. Okay. So var card background. All right. So there it is. That should work for anything with the card. So if I come over here and grab my small cards, Those should be the same. So I'll just say card right, like that. Those should all have the same thing. Obviously, they're not spaced out right now, but I guess the other thing I need to do is set some kind of gap on this. So we'll do var size fluid 2-ish, something like that. So if they get closer, or even here, you see how they're separated like that, and then that should expand as we go. So, all right. As far as the width of these things, I guess let's just do a padding of size fluid, probably 4, something like that. Is this really how I want to stack this stuff up? I think so. And I think these had a border radius. It couldn't have been more than like 0.4 rem. It was pretty small. It's probably too big, 0.2 rem, something like that. Let's come back over here. Yeah, little radius. I think so. Okay. All right. Then what I need to do is, let's see. Let me just pull up an image over here. Get this smaller. Let's do mobile, sure. Okay, let me split that over. Make it much smaller. Get rid of this sidebar. And maybe switch this to the other side. Okay. Just so I can kind of keep an eye on this and keep an eye on this. So yeah, I guess let's do that. And we'll say this needs to be this card itself. Maybe let's keep everything separate. So let me come into my card large, and I can just grab my article here and add that directly here. So we'll say this needs to be display grid, gap of var size 4, something like that, 6. Not sure why that's not auto updating. Let's see. Yeah, I guess it's fine. And then I'll just group the middle ones here. So, see the num and the subtitle here. This should all be one thing, yeah? Yeah, okay. So then I'll just wrap that down below. Okay. So I'm going to grab the H3 here and say that my num inside of that needs to be a var font size, var size, let's see, font size, fluid 4. I think I actually only have like 2 or 3 options there. Oh man, I really hate that this is not updating. Size. All right, we're just going to set this manually. 2 rem. Why is that not working? The .num inside here, inside my H3, right? Huh. I'm not sure why it's not. Oh, I didn't do lang equals sass. Now that should work. Okay. So maybe we go back to font size fluid 3, something like that. This needs to be font size fluid. How about 2? Okay, something like that. And then basically as I get larger, those should get larger. As I get smaller, they should get smaller. Then the other thing I'm going to do is grab my sub down below here and say this needs to be color of var text secondary, like that, and then font size, I think it's just that 14 pixels from the brief at the beginning. So that actually should be my default anyhow, but I do want text transform to be uppercase. And let's see, this whole H3 here needs to be display grid, place items center, stacked right on top of each other. Line height, let's do like 1.1 as well. 1.2, something like that. See, it looks like that's way smaller. So maybe this actually is smaller. Var size, let's do text font size, var size 0, text size 0, text size fluid. Goodness. Let's come over here to typography and manually look it up like a cave person. Font size fluid. Actually, let's just do font size 0. All right. Let's do 1. No, let's do 00. Sure. All right. I don't have a Figma file, so we're going to call that good. Okay, so at least we got that down. That only took a while. We'll grab this href. I mean, it's the only one in here, but let's give it a class. We'll call this like handle. And I'm going to grab the handle down here. Like this. And then let's set this display a flex. Align items center. And then let's do a gap of like 0.2 rem. And then inside here, we're going to have this icon. We didn't give it any kind of thing. We could just say SVG. I guess let's just grab the span and worry about that first. So where's my span? No, not that. Where's my handle? So this handle, also we need to do text decoration none. And then let's set the color as well. Yeah, so I guess we could just do it all in the handle here. So this needs to be my var text secondary as well. So I think that should work. And then when I switch to dark mode, yeah. Okay, that takes me to nowhere, but that's fine. This also technically needs some kind of movement here, so let's grab our header stuff and just repeat this box shadow stuff. So let me come back to my head large. We'll add a box shadow here like that, and then what we'll do is say that when it is focused, we want outline none, and when it's focus visible, we want to take this box shadow and pop it out. So we'll just get rid of these. All right, so I probably should have a class for that, but and then I'll also say box, nope, border radius, 100% view max, which means I probably also want some padding. So we'll do padding of like 0.4 rem. Cool. Let's also back this off a touch then. Oh, I'm happy with that. You know what we should do is on this text secondary, make this dynamic based on what the thing is. So where you have different styles, if I come back to my style sheet that we set up yesterday, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so like social Facebook, social Twitter, social Instagram, whatever that is. So let's make that dynamic. Except it's not going to work for Instagram. Is that worth it? Probably not. but let's do it anyhow. While we're having fun. I'm not super worried about it. So let's come in here. Let's see. We know we're going to get the handle of the subs today. Do I get like Instagram anywhere? No, I don't. So I need to pull that in as well. So let's come back up to my index.astro page. And when I pass all this stuff in, let's see what happens when I get this card data. Don't I get like icon, likes? Oh, that's the small data. The large data is what I want, because I'm pretty sure I had like what it was called. Handle, no. Icon. Here's my large data. I thought I had like a type on here. Maybe I didn't. Well, let's just look. Social. So yesterday we made all these. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay, so I think what I need to do is grab index.values. I need to do entries here. And now this is going to yell at me, because then from these entries, now it's not going to have anything to pass to that. So let me just, oh, it's not going to even let me console log it. So if we go back here, now we're getting this whole object. So now I need to just grab the values from that when I pass it down. So over here, I need to map over, let's see. How does that work? So when I do, I'll get an array where the first item is the key and the second item is the value. I think that's how it works. So I think what I need to do is just come into all these and say that. No. Oh, well, first of all, let's get rid of that. Yeah, okay, there we go. So that should work, but that also means I can pass in like a type or something like that, and we can call this card 0. Okay, so when you get, and it's yelling at me because I don't have that declared yet, but when you get the entries, that gives you the key as the first item in an array and the value, which in this case is the object, as the second item. So what I'm doing is I'm just basically pulling out that name, sorry to spit in your face, and then we'll use that to style the color. Again, is this necessary? No, it's not. But I want to do it, so let's come in here, type will be a string, and then we'll pull the type in here. All right, so that way it doesn't yell at us. And then what we're going to do is use this type. What were we going to do? Oh yeah, on this. So for this var, this needs to be, was it social? Is that what we called it? Yeah, social, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Okay. So what we're going to do is change this to social. Change this to social. Can I do this? Can I dynamically declare a variable? Did we do all this for no reason? Let's see. Maybe what we do, well, let's try it first. I don't know that this is going to let us do this now that I think about it after all that, but at least we got to talk about entries and all that kind of stuff. So we'll come up here. Maybe I can just dynamically generate this up here. Let's try it. So we'll say style, and let's see. I think, yeah, so let's just do this. So why does this not like me? Oh, well, I'm getting around to it. See, I think it'll let me do it like this. Yeah. So what if I declare all this up top? It's a lot to declare, but let's do it. So I'm going to grab all this, take it out of there, and we'll say style. And then in here, we'll say social. And here's where we'll add the type. Let's see what happens. All right, let's start with that. And then let's just make it large for now, like by default. Yeah, so that works. And then we'll say inside here, if type is equal to Instagram. I don't think those are capitalized. Then we want it to be YouTube. Otherwise, we want it to be the type. So we'll just use that for that. Okay. Again, necessary? No. Enjoyable? Yeah. This is how you have fun. This is what the crazy people do on Saturday mornings, right here. So if I come back up top, now I need to add. Let's see. How do I declare this for? Can I just say like focus? I'm trying to think how to do this inline here. I might also be able to do this as a set of objects. I don't remember if they allow you to do this or not. It's like box shadow. So I think they might actually let you do it like this. Let's see, let's close this off. So this would be more like a JSX way of doing this. No, I don't think they do. Well, it was worth a shot. Because I don't know of a way. Inline, is there a way? Like, I don't remember. Inline declare focus states or focus CSS. I don't know, something. Let's see what this says from 2011. No. Okay. Well, thanks a lot. Get all my hopes up. We got everything working so well. And then just totally dash the hopes. Yeah, I understand how classes work. Focus inline. That seems sketch. I mean, let's try it. Focus visible. I don't think you can do this. I don't think you can do this. No, you can't do that. All right. Oh man, we got so close. Well, it was still fun to do. All right. Maybe what we do is we just leave it because we like it. And we change this to this and to this. And all we do is like change the background when we're focused. So we'll say focus visible. Whenever that's the case, then we change the background to, let's just try white just to see if that works. Okay, so I come in here. Yeah. We just changed the background. Let's do that. I mean, at least that way we get to kind of experiment some. All right, so it's going to change the focus. That's pretty subtle. So I don't know if it's that accessible. but at least we figured out how to do that. All right, maybe we should stop playing, and I don't like it for accessibility reasons, so let's strip that out. But at least we know we can if we want to. We know how to do that. So I'm going to come back down here to the handle, to the H3. There's the handle. Add that back in here. We'll get rid of all this. We'll just go back to our text secondary. And then move this in here. And go back to what we originally had. All right, so that's probably better. Okay. All that. Other than that, though, I guess we got to do the bottom section of the card, too. I got to stop wasting time. So this bottom section shouldn't be too difficult. Now, this would be the same. So that's what we're going to have down below. So we'll say, like, percentage. Something like that. And then maybe let's come in here and say percentage. Can we use the is global here? I don't think so. I think it has to be on the whole style tag. So maybe what we'll do is actually come in here and we'll do another style tag. And here we'll say is global. And do the percentage in here. And maybe we should actually think maybe we should do this handle thing too. Not the handle specifically, but the whole border transition thing. So we'll do like a link or something like that. So I think this is what I'm going to do. So I'll come in here to my link, and then we can use that same class. So 100%, we'll grab, see all this, and we'll throw it in here, link. And then the other thing we'll do is throw this focus state, all this stuff in here too. So we'll keep all that separate. Then what I'll do is lang. I think I can do both those at the same time. I'll come back over to my header, and we will add, let's see, class of link to this as well. And then what I'll do is get rid of that stuff I did in here, so I'm only doing it once. So this box shadow, all this stuff, we'll get rid of that. I guess all that too, right? Yeah, so it should still work, but now at least we're not, it's a little drier than before. So this percentage, I want this to be font size like 12 pixels or something small. Didn't I have like a font size 00? Yeah. And then, let's see, let's actually split this thing so I can see the top and the bottom. So I've got an icon. So let's grab my SVG. Just say like width is like 0.5 rem. So real small. This whole thing though needs to be display flex, align items center, gap of like 0.2 rem, 0.1 rem. Yeah, I think that should work. Come back over here, so it should be whatever the color is of the thing that was passed in. So let's come up here to this percentage. And here's a good time to use an inline style tag. So I want the color to be, basically if it's positive, I want it to be green. If it's negative, I want it to be red. So we'll say var, what was that, style? Where is that? Accent. So accent green or accent red. Okay, so we'll say accent, and then in here we'll say if it's positive, then make it green, and otherwise make it red. Not right. Okay, so there we go. That should show. Cool. Now this should also be in the center. So justify content center. All right, and then I think we've got one more thing to add on the cards. And then I also might change this grid up a bit. Template. Oh, I think that's in my index.html or Astro. Too many things going on. Okay, so inside here, where did I declare that? Oh, right here. So I think I actually want this to only be as large as like var. Now let's do like, because basically this is saying how large it's allowed to get. So we'll say like 200 pixels, 300 pixels, something like that. Sure. Now I wonder why this is. I guess I need to do place content center as well to put the whole thing in the center. And I also want these to be the same. I think maybe this actually should be flex. So, and then we'll just do flex wrap. Flex wrap of wrap. Like that. And then let's get rid of all that for now. In this. And we'll grab any card inside of here. And set the flex to let's do 0, 0, 100. No, that's not what I want. 1, 0, 100 maybe. Oh, well, I want them to split. I guess I could just set like a pixel value here. 300 pixels. And then they just snap down. Then they get large like that. So I don't really want them to grow. So I want them to shrink. I don't want them to grow. Right? I do want them to grow. So maybe I just throw a media query on here. I don't know. Let's just do that. So we'll do media. Where's my media screen? We'll do min width like 800 pixels, something like that. And then here we'll do, I guess this needs to be inside the card, first of all. So here we'll do flex basis, or no, flex grow. Let's just change the whole flex. So we'll say 0, 0, 0, 1, and like, I don't know, 400 pixels, something like that. Is that what I want? Not really. I think it's fine. We'll just put everything in the middle. Justify content center. And I think we'll call that good. Okay, so back to the cards themselves. The other thing I need to do is make sure that this thing is in the middle. This handle link. Over here, and then we got to do these top bars, and then let's finish with these cards. So let's do align items center. Oh, they already are aligned. Align items center here. Text align center as well, since it's right. Display flex. Oh, I'm not in grid lane. I'm in flex lane, so this needs to be justify content center. Okay. So that should work. Now everything's going to get a top border. And here again, let's do this dynamically here. So we'll say style. Nope. Up top here. So we'll say style. And again, we're going to do some templating in here. So let's put it in these curly brackets. And what I want is a border top. We'll do like 2 pixels solid var. It's the same thing. Didn't we? It was like social, right? Social dash, and then in here we'll do whatever the type is. So we did need that type after all, right? So it's not letting me add that here because it's a background property. So maybe what I need to do is make a little div here or something. Sure. We'll say I got to change some of the styling then here, but so let's put this in a wrapper. So we'll wrap all this. We'll call it like content or something like that. And then this stuff we'll just put inside that. So we'll say content. All right. And then let's see, where's this spacing coming from? Card section card. So that was in my sass over here. Right here. So I guess let's actually not do this. And we'll have to do that on the content, I think. All right, so like that. And then what I should be able to do is instead of making this a border top, I can just make this a background. And then I need a height on here as well. So we'll say height, like 3 pixels. 2 pixels, sure. And I probably need a border radius here of like, I don't know what we had on those. 0.2 rem. What is it? Border radius. Top right. Is it just like that? Border top right radius? Top right radius. Radius. Let's see if that's it. I can't even see that. Oh, that's not the right. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Oh, so we want the same thing. We'll just do it on the left as well. So we'll do this all in line. I guess we could have broken some of this stuff out to a class, but top left radius. Okay, so sure. There we go. All right, more or less. Okay. So these are links that take me to nowhere. These also are now much more expanded since I put them as flex children in the center, but that's fine. I guess I could make them just a content center. We could do width as like fit content. Technically to get rid of that, I think. But then I need to justify self center. That's kind of hacky. There's other ways to do that too, but anyhow, now it's smaller. All right, more or less. Let's just make sure it looks right in dark mode. I think that looks pretty good. I wouldn't mind adding a little shadow to those. So maybe let's do that too while we're at it. So we'll say box shadow var. Now here's the hard thing. I don't really have a darker color than my color up here. Do I? I guess I could do top dark. Background top dark. Background top. Let's do that. So I'll say var background top. And this needs to be, we'll do like 0 pixels, 2 pixels. And let's do like, I don't know, maybe like 2 rem of blur. Are we even going to see anything? Let's change this to text primary because we will see that. Okay, so it might just need to be darker. So why don't I just run up top here and let's just grab this card background. Well, it's got to be dynamic though. The background dark was the darkest we had. Background light's the lightest we have. What if I just take secondary? Let's try that. Text secondary. And then we'll just make this like 0.1. Something like that. And then maybe what I can do is I think it's going to be too much work. All right. We've already wasted a lot of time just having fun, but at some point I got to finish the stream. So let's do this next section. And then we'll call it good. Okay. So I got my small cards. And basically they just need to stack up and down. They look the same on desktop or mobile. So that should work. Let's see. I'm not sure why I have a card top and a card bottom because I'm not seeing any difference between these two. Oh, well. Okay. So let's take our, small cards I guess actually the first thing I need to do is come back to my SAS, because this overview, I've also got a today. And in this case, what I want for this cards section is I want this to be, I guess I actually want it to be display grid to start with. And let's see, I think I made so many choices here that make better sense as just being considered the same thing that I'm just going to get rid of this. All right, and then we'll have card section today. That'll work. Okay, so we'll do gap of var size fluid, sure, 2. Let's do like 8. Why isn't this thing refreshing for me? Isn't that what this is called? Card section today. That's what we got. Let's see if it's a problem with this. Let's pull this out of here. I wonder if... Okay, so it's just, I got all these things off. So this is here. This is here. I need one more here. Okay. There we go. So we'll come back here and set this as var size fluid 2. That works. Let's put this card up here so that I can overwrite it down below if I need to. I guess it'll be nested, so that'll help anyhow. And then the rest of these, maybe what we'll do is just do a media query. So do I have a wrapper around that somehow? So I should have an H2. So let's look inside my section. So I don't have any kind of wrapper, so let's add a wrapper as well. So I'm going to come inside here. I'll say like card today. How about we just say today wrapper? Okay, and then I'm going to grab this right here. And let me switch my machine to dark mode because I feel like that view is a little easier to see. The nice thing is when I toggle my machine, oh, it doesn't switch over. Maybe I could also handle that. See, we do that with a, it's like some kind of media query for, or JavaScript thing where you can actually, it's like a window media change event or something. I forget. I'd have to look it up. All right, let's see, back over here in my style sheet, I'd grab my today wrapper. I guess let's just do it inside here. And here I want grid, display grid. And then what we'll do is just do a media query. So let's do our media. And we'll do min width, like 800 pixels. Nah, that's too big. 500 pixels maybe. Then what we'll do is do grid template columns. And I guess we can repeat. Or, you know, because these are all going to be the same size, I don't think we even need this. So we'll come back here and let me find that grid template autofit thing we had earlier. That should stack all those, except in this case we'll make it like 300 wide, and until it can fit 2 of those, then it'll fit 2, then it'll fit 4, then eventually that's it. So maybe we make these like 280, because I think it's supposed to fit 4 in the largest. Some of that might be our cap, which is our 70 rem. I must have done that somewhere else. 70 rem. Yeah, so maybe we make this more like 80 rem. And that way we can get this bigger and we get 4 in there like we're supposed to. All right, so I think I like that. I'll come back over here to the style sheet, come down to the bottom. The other thing I want here is a gap of our size 2. Sure. Let's see, what gap did I have here? Just mimic this. So size fluid 2, how about that? So size fluid 2. Okay, so those should all be spaced out. The other thing I want is the card inside here. Well, I guess we're kind of handling those. Some of breaking the CSS has not been the most intelligent work I've ever done, but that's all right. So I'll come near to my style. Let's grab the card. We'll do a padding. That's the same as the large card. Right here. Let's just grab all this stuff. Let's see. Let's stack those things up like that. That's fine. And then we'll just position them. I don't really need to be aligned center. So I should have 2 items stacked up like this, I think. 1, 2, right? Cool. Let's come back to my style sheet. And while we're making arbitrary classes in arbitrary places, let's take that flex between and set this to display flex and justify content space between. All right, so it's at least kind of positioned in the right place. As I move this out, everything should snap down. Okay, so we're getting there. I think I'm going to actually make this padding a little smaller. Okay. Now, as far as the size of everything, we're going to have the same kind of color situation going on down here. So let me grab my large card. And had I thought through this earlier a little bit better, I think I would have made this a little bit different. But I should be able to just grab this percentage. Let's see, maybe... Oh, this is global. So if I just add percentage. I did think through that. I think we did that together. Let's take small. And I'll just do this over here. I just need to add a class of percentage here, I think. Yeah, there we go. So that got small. I do need it to take on the coloring though, and that was inline. So let me grab that right here, and I'll just tack that on here. So that works. That's cool. This icon, that might be a little bit big. So maybe let's just change this to like 20. Oh, no, that's the wrong icon. Right here. I'm not really sure how big that's supposed to be. Let's say 20. All right, page views, likes. So that page views here, the title. And see, these are also tabbed. So this would be another good one to say right here. So I'm going to do a height of 20 as well so that it's a box, and then I'll do a class of link. Oh, you know what? On all those links I had, can they be circles? No, they're not supposed to be circles. So that's one reason to break up your styling a little bit. So let's come back to my .link declaration, wherever that was. So here, the border radius, let's get rid of that there. Which means I need to add those back in manually. But they are there, so it's just on this card section. So on handle, should be right in here. We can just add that back in. Yeah, okay. That works. And then on these, trying to figure out why that spacing is a little funky. There's like space below it. Maybe line height is the problem? No. Nah, I don't know. Okay, that's fine. We've obsessed over small details already so far, so let's not continue that trend. Here we go. Actually, let's come back to that large, and let me just copy out some of the other styles here. So, sure, let's grab all this. Because I think I need title and then the number are the two I'm concerned about here. So I'll grab, this will be, because I don't need that. Number, let's call this title. That doesn't quite work because this doesn't need to be small, nor does it need to be uppercase, but it does need to be text secondary. This looks like it should be font weight of bold, right? And then I think I'm going to make this 1. Move over here, and this also needs to be font size, font weight, bold. And maybe it already is. All right, so as far as things go, I feel like these might be a little too small. Not those. The percentage. Ish. And again, I don't remember what these things are, so. But it's a var, so we can calculate it. So let's just times 0.8, make it slightly bigger or smaller than it is. All right, so there we go. Is this a finished project? Yeah, sure. I mean, it kind of looks like it. It's close enough. Technically, I think this is supposed to go all the way over. I think there may have been some hover states we didn't do. But look at these. Exactly. And look at this switcher. We could add some, like, you know, sound effects or other random stuff. Let's see what else we could do. I mean, at some point, we'll call it good, but maybe let's save this to local storage. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll save the dark light mode theme to local storage, and then we'll call it good. All right, hopefully you enjoyed this. I assume there wouldn't be that many people around today because it's a part 2 and it's Saturday. But I wanted to finish it, so if you were here for this, thanks for showing up. Let's see, where did I even declare that? I think it was in the header component, right? That's where I did all my switcherooing. Yeah. Okay, so what we're going to do is do a window.add event listener. We're going to list for DOM content. I guess we don't really need to even do that. So here, this prefers color scheme dark. We should say, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do document. No, we're going to do local storage dot get item. We're going to call this like dashboard dot theme. Or we'll grab the window matches and we'll call this dark if it does. Let's do this. Yeah, dark or light, which means I need to change how I set this. So we'll say if this equals light. I think that should work. So as I refresh here, it's first of all looking at my default system theme. All right, and then the other thing I need to do is check this one way or the other. So light mode, dark mode. So if it's in light mode, it should be checked. If it's in dark mode, it should be unchecked. So the other thing I need to do then is grab reference to that roll of switch, right, and check it or uncheck it. So let's see. Let's grab the label, and then let's grab the switch, and we'll grab the roll switch like that. What did I do wrong? Switch is not something. Oh yeah, you're right. Theme switcher. Switch. How about that? Can't use the switch. That's kind of a reserved word. So then what I'm going to do is... So this should grab these two. It should automatically set the data theme to either light or dark. Automatically. And this is just used down here, right? I think. So we've got the default theme. Now what I want to do is say the default theme equals light. Let's do this. So we'll say theme switch equals dot checked equals. Isn't there like a dot checked property? Check box JavaScript. I thought you could just like check it. Dot check true. Okay. Only I've got access to this theme switch. So why can't I? Let's see what happens if I just do this. Is my extension just mad at me? Yeah. Well, forget you. I'm gonna do what I want here. So what we're gonna do is say if default theme is equal to light, right? Yeah. Then I want this to be true. Otherwise I want it to be false. Okay. Perfect. Now that probably also means I need to take this transition squish. Maybe this whole thing and not apply it until it's been checked. Yeah, so the check mark. Let's see. Check mark. Is that right? Yeah. So we'll do the check mark equals dot check mark. And then in here, do check mark dot style dot transition. And then we'll set this to that right here. So when I load, I wonder why it's still, there's some kind of delay. Because it shouldn't really happen. Well, it's not even happening there. What is going on here? Check mark. Right? Let's come over here. Let's check it out. Okay, so this right here is my span. I can set style properties on spans. Is that going to let me? Oh, I think I have to Get rid of that. Okay. Can't I do like just style something? Style, it's right here. All right. So maybe what I can do, style dot transition, isn't there like a transition speed or something? Transition origin style, transition delay, duration. So what if I just set this to the 150 milliseconds? I think that's what I'm going to do. So it should basically already be on there. I just don't have a speed, or I'll set it to 0 to start with. So let's come back up here to my checkbox, and I'll paste this back in, except I'll set this to 0. And then when I toggle this, now it should start switching. But when I first load, I wonder why it's snapping over like that. I guess it's just like the normal loading state, but at least it's not sliding over. All right, we'll call that good. I don't know why my extension is yelling at me. All right. So we, what were we doing? Oh yeah, saving from local storage. So what we've done is we've gotten the default theme either from local storage, which doesn't exist there right now, or if that doesn't exist, it's grabbed it from the window, like whatever their default system is. Then it's set the checked status of that checkbox to one or the other. Now, why do I have this data theme? Default. Why is it setting it to the opposite? What was I thinking there? That should be down here, maybe. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm thinking here. So I should be able to just declare this here. Let data theme like this. Although I don't even know why I need that. I mean, I guess it saves me one line of code. Sure, whatever. We can keep that there. I mean, it doesn't really, though, because I'm switching it here, too. It's fine. I'll just leave it. Okay. So what we're going to do is then we've got our default theme. We've set it to checked. Then what I'm going to do is say, so let's write a little function here. A function, let's just make an arrow function. We'll say like update theme equals, I guess I don't really need to pass anything, but what we'll say is that this is, it's going to figure out what to do here. Actually, let's do like new theme, something like that. So we can pull this in here. And then what we're going to do is take the theme.switch. Actually, I guess we'll just basically pull this in and change out for new theme here. And then we'll also do the same thing here. I think. And pull this in here. So we're going to grab the data theme. We're going to set this to new theme. And this will be new theme. And then we'll just call update theme here and pass it new theme. Astro, also why you choose Astro. If you know HTML, I think you can learn Astro. So that's what I would, that's what I would say. And I just like it because it's a nice, easy templating language to get going. Default theme light. So, let's see, what am I doing wrong here? subs default theme, because I'm only setting that the first time. So if I set this right away to my new theme, then I think what I can do is say, oops. I think like that. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so all I've done is basically set my data theme that I need to, I guess maybe let's just call this new theme since we're already kind of in that mode. So we'll get rid of this. Also inside here, what I want to do is set our local storage.set item, and I want my dashboard.theme to be set to my new theme. Okay, so if I come inside here, application, local storage. So let's get rid of this, get rid of that. So if I come here and I click here, now it should switch to light. It's the first time I click. So I actually need to set so that's in dark mode. What happens if I'm in dark mode? Okay, so that's all working properly. If I come in here and I click this, it should switch over immediately, right? So it should grab whatever the new theme is. If it's light, then make it dark. If it's dark, then make it light. And then it updates the theme. It says if new theme is light, then it is true. That should be right. And then I should set that to light or dark, whatever the new theme is. Checked equals light mode, dark mode. Okay, so let's try this again. So if I come in here and I check, it moves over to light mode. All right, what am I doing wrong? I just need to finish this thing. It's in light mode. It says dark mode. I click once. It doesn't move anything over, so it doesn't change this. What if I get rid of this? So it's like the first time it doesn't know what to do with itself. All right, let's just think through the logic real fast. This should not be difficult. Okay. So when I first load, it's going to grab either whatever's there or the default. So it should grab whatever's first. And just to make sure I'm getting what I think I'm getting here, let me pull this down here and come over to my console. So I should be getting light mode. If I was in dark mode and I refresh, I should be getting dark mode. Okay, so that's working. Then what I'm doing is I'm setting the theme switch.checked. If the default is light, then it moves it to the right. If it's left, it moves to the left. Okay, that's fine. Then when I click, I set the style duration so that it actually starts sliding back and forth, which is fine. And then I'm going to set my new theme to whatever my, if it's light, let's see, when I first load here, this doesn't get anything. So I think, okay, that's fine. So I think here I'm just grabbing this wrong. So maybe I can just grab it. No, I can't because then it's going to change. Okay, so I think what I need to do is set this as well to start with. And I need to set this to my default theme. Yeah, okay. All right, we'll call that good. And now when I refresh, I'm in dark mode now. Now I'm in light mode, but now I'm in dark mode. But if I switch to light mode and refresh, it doesn't save it. So I think the problem is, no, that should work. Am I in dark mode over here? Let's look at the application. I'm in light mode here. So it should be grabbing local storage.get item dark dashboard theme. It should be grabbing that from there. So maybe what I need to do is let's just grab this here. See, this should give me light or dark. Let's come back down here and copy this in again. Oh, whoops. Okay, so I'm in light mode here. If I refresh, it's saying I'm in dark mode. So it's preferring this to this. Right? Whereas really what I want it to do is prefer this. Why isn't it grabbing this first? Alright, so what we can do is, I guess, let's just say let here. And we'll say if default theme, this is not the right way to do this. So if there's no default theme, then set, I guess it would be, what would it be if it were not there? So let's try that first. Show application, let's get rid of this. Come to my console, refresh. 106. Oh. Oh, it's because I have this or statement still here. So it's null. Okay. Couldn't remember if it was going to be undefined or null. So we'll just say if, what in the world? Over here. Okay. Default theme. We'll say if default theme is null, then default theme now equals this. All right, so it should basically equal whatever my default system is. If I switch to light mode, that should work. Switch to dark mode, that should work, except now I also need this to say, maybe I just need to update this theme automatically like this and pass it my default theme. So that it's light or dark to start with. All right, and then maybe that's all I had to do. If I come in here, I just save this. And now, okay, here we go. All right, so if I click this, it should be in light mode. If I refresh, my computer's doing something weird. It's trying to refresh. It's thinking about it. I think that should work. It's just not refreshing. Okay. Well, I think we're going to call this good because I think it's working now. There's dark mode. There's light mode. So it's in dark mode. I have it in light mode. If I refresh, it goes back to light mode. Okay. So now it's working. All right. So I don't know why this or statement wasn't working. I kind of want to try this now that I'm running that automatically. Anyhow, thanks for joining me. I know this was definitely more casual even than what I normally do, which is usually pretty casual. So, who knows Python? So, yeah, that's actually probably the first language I started learning a while back, but it was just for like, I just thought it'd be enjoyable to learn, and it was okay. The indentation thing kind of threw me off, but it was also the first thing I learned. So, all right, well, this was fun. I enjoyed this. I like the overall product in the end. This isn't quite how I wanted it to stack up, but I think some of that's because I made it a little bit larger. So if I come over here to 80 rem, keep saying I'm going to stop, and then can't stop, won't stop. Let's go 75 rem. Come over here. Sure. We're going to call that good. Light mode, dark mode. I think all the rest of that looks good. And we saved it to local storage, added some focus dates that are kind of snappy. All right. Well, thanks so much for joining me. That's all I got here. So I hope you have a great rest of your day wherever you are. And yeah, I'll catch you next time.